Yo, I am Bongo Ideas and welcome to Critique of the Week. Fante Comedy said Obama Pokwase and some, girls were arrested for pushing out information out there that were deemed, unwholesome and untruthful, and also, sitting on TikTok and threatening the president, making fun of the helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives. Right. So from the weekend of last week, the first person was arrested. That was Fante Comedy. He was arrested together with 2 other ladies, right? So they weren't granted bail because I think they were arrested around Friday last week, and they spent their weekend in the custody of the security institution. Then a new week came on Monday. They were sent to the court and they were granted bail. The Fante Comedy guy came out and said, he was still speak about Mahama, and he's not really perturbed about what happened to him or what was happening to him at the time. He also intimated that Bawumia played a critical role in ensuring that he had the best of treatment in the custody of the security, agency. So basically, there wasn't any show of remorse. He had the privilege to meet other MPP executives and top apparatchiks of the party. On the TikTok live, he didn't state that he was going to assassinate the president. Basically, he can't be found culpable of allowing others to come onto his platform. In the case of Obama Pokwase, I think he was also granted bail, but he was rearrested for certain things he posted on Facebook some years back about certain personalities. Right. For Obama's case, he shared images that were related to the Boko conflict, about some individuals having rifles or ammunition that they were not supposed to have. Independent investigations showed that the picture of the rifle that he first posted wasn't from Ghana. It was from a base in Norway, right? So it was misleading information. Mr. Obama was rearrested and he was sent to the CID headquarters, and we don't really know what has come out of that. There was a journalist sitting on Untumi Radio who also said a lot of damning things about President Mahama. He stated without evidence that Mahama is the mastermind behind the helicopter crash, and he the president actually did it intentionally to claim 8 lives. So he was also arrested, and on the first day that he was arrested, the likes of Chairman Untumi and MPP executives were present to throw their support behind him and all that. But on the second day, when he was taken to court to go find some bail and all that, he wasn't granted bail. So when he was taken out of court, he had to go spend 2 weeks in the custody of the police. And when he came out, he couldn't shout, "I'm the hero" anymore. He is going to spend 2 weeks and he will come back somewhere in September. "I'm the hero. I'm the hero. I'm the hero, bro." After the helicopter crash, I don't know, a lot of MPP people on social media jubilated about the fact that some individuals unfortunately have lost their lives. I don't know how come they are trying to draw any kind of political expediency from that. I don't know how it is going to serve the interest of the MPP. I don't know if that is the reason that people will vote for the MPP. I don't fucking understand why they were doing that. But some 2 girls sat on TikTok and they said a lot of bullshit about the president and the fact that they wished it was him who died. So they were also arrested and they were sent to the court, and the court also denied them bail. Right, when they were coming out, they covered their faces because they were feeling shy of the cameras, and so they didn't even know where to pass. They were so jittery. Like if the state captures you, it is a whole story altogether, right? So at the end of the day, they were also sent into the police custody and they'll be there for another 2. So the Untumi journalists and these 2 girls are in the custody of the police as we speak. Fante Comedy is free. So Obama Pokwase was rearrested. So we don't really know what is really happening on that side. So yeah, basically that is all that has to do with the people saying bullshit about the helicopter crash and the fact that they want the president dead. Shatta Wale moved from being a person of interest to becoming a prime suspect in what is believed to be a cartel of individuals involved in transferring of stolen vehicles to the shores of Ghana. At the beginning of the investigation process, had his yellow Lamborghini seized. Right, we didn't hear any issue about that, but Shatta Wale came on social media to come and rant about the fact that the EOCO boss it's been unfair to him, and you know, they need to be careful about how they treat him and all that. So the EOCO also came out to issue statements about how Shatta Wale was actually pleading with them that, you know, he's a big celebrity in Ghana, so the government or the EOCO should not probably make it public. They should keep it on the low and try to solve the whole issue. You know, the yellow Lamborghini was actually seized because, according to the EOCO, it is proceed from crime that was committed in the United States of America, and the Department of Justice and the FBI have been tracking the said vehicle, and they were in Ghana to retrieve it from Shatta Wale. Now, Shatta Wale intimated emphatically that he didn't have prior knowledge about the fact that it was a stolen vehicle. He bought it legitimately, and he paid for it legitimately, and he acquired it legitimately. So he did not understand why EOCO will be meddling in his business and, you know, trying to make a fuss about the purchase and the acquisition of a yellow Lamborghini, right? So Shatta Wale came on social media to state that, you know, he bought the Lamborghini for $150,000. He had documentation and receipt to actually prove the purchase. Now, per the EOCO process, Shatta Wale needs to go back to their office. So he went there on Wednesday, and that was when the news came that, you know, the whole issue had moved away from, you know, just a Lamborghini to the fact that Shatta Wale could actually be embroiled in evasion of tax, money laundering, and other allegations. So those were the allegations that were flying all over social media, right? So on that Wednesday, Shatta Wale was not granted bail, and he spent the night in the custody of the EOCO. Now on Thursday, his fans were really aggrieved and disgruntled, so they massed up at the, you know, it's not the precinct though, but they were on the road just opposite the EOCO office in Accra here, and, you know, they make their, you know, grievances known about the fact that Shatta Wale should be released, and he had done nothing wrong. You know, it was a scene, it was a carnival, from what people were saying to the caliber of people who were present and the kind of support that was given to Shatta. It just proved that Shatta Wale is actually the king of the street. A bit of details: there's this Amwa guy who has been jailed in the United States of America for engaging in a $4.7 million, you know, crime, and that they believe that it was out of that money that he bought the Lamborghini. Now, Shatta Wale previously said certain things about Edu Buahin and the fact that Edu Buahin was, I don't know, but the whole case is checked, and that vehicle, yellow Lamborghini, was probably bought from Edu Buahin. But Shatta Wale, in his conversation with the EOCO, he came out that Shatta Wale said he bought the vehicle from the street. He probably bought it from someone named Zach. Now, if it has moved from Edu Buahin to the street means it's untraceable, it is unauthorized, you know, you can't really pinpoint who actually sold it to you. But Shatta Wale, in his first rant on social media, stated that he bought it for $150,000 and that he has documentation. But when he went to meet the EOCO, he came out that he stated that he bought it from the street, and that, you know, he had no documents, he had nothing to back the purchase of the vehicle. So it became apparent that, you know, probably Shatta Wale was trying to shield someone or trying to, you know, conceal information, or was just not forthcoming with the security agency, right? So they had to keep him there, and a bail condition was actually secured for Shatta Wale. He had to pay 10 million Ghana cedis. It had to keep Shatta Wale there for a very long time, until the evenings of Thursday, where it came out that the bail condition had been slashed to Shatta Wale was freed to go. Shatta Wale made an appearance on TikTok.
Shatta is safe, you know, your king is safe. One Don is safe, and I'm home now, and I just want to say a big thank you for supporting, you know, and for being around me in times like this, because I needed you guys.
He had also bought a purple Lamborghini. So the purple Lamborghini was also bought from the streets. The car, the RR, was bought from the streets. Shatta Wale would be availing himself for investigation, but what we know is that the yellow Lamborghini has been shipped back to the United States of America because there's a restitution that has been granted by the courts in the United States of America to actually recoup anything that has been bought with that, you know, stolen money, the $4.7 million that the Ghanaian guy has been jailed for. So any amount of money that was spent on any property will either be sold, will either be retrieved, you know. So Shatta Wale's car is gone. And now that he's saying he bought it from the street, it is making his case a bit dicey, and it is putting him in a very tight spot. probably he would find a way to come out of it or wriggle out of it. But for now, we know that Shatta Wale would have to be reporting to the EOCO 3 times in a week. With MOG Beats also came out to say that, he worked with Shatta Wale. Shatta Wale was not ready to pay. It also came out that Shatta Wale has sold his catalog to Waka Music for some money. Shatta Wale also said on Space that he sold his On God track for $3.5 million. Shatta Wale has been in the news. Shatta fan base, SN for life. For life is for life, bro. You people, you really spoil they give you your boss, and we hope that all artists and anybody out there will have that kind of support that the SM family gave to Shatta Wale, because it was really, really massive. The Rich Hospital came under a bit of pressure following a viral video that was shared by Ralph St. Williams, a social media activist and a political commentator who, we could say, stormed the Rich Hospital when he went there with an emergency concerning some of his friends were involved in an accident, and the nurses were supposedly not attending to them on time, right? So they had to get into the emergency room, but nobody was ready to see to the fact that they were attended to. So he did a video where he was lambasting the nurses, and he was just basically going at the whole health system in Ghana, where nurses are usually nonchalant about the plight of patients who are referred to their facilities, and the fact that they are not ready to actually offer helping hand as and when it is needed. So since Ralph St. Williams came under a lot of pressure from social media, there were some people who said, oh, he did the right thing. Ghanaian nurses, they pets. If you go to the hospital, attend to you, them they prescribe them, and for social media they beat them past the work that they do. Really the first one. And another set of people who said, St. William went a bit overboard. He was aggressive with the nurses, and it was a state institution, and did not understand why he could just storm there and be making noise about the fact that he wasn't being treated properly. And also, it was believed that he allegedly assaulted one of the nurses. The health minister, Minister Akando, also went to the Rich Hospital to get first-hand information about what was really, really happening. And there was pressure on him to say something about Ralph, but after he addressed the whole issue about the fact that nurses must be protected and the health facility needs to be secured and protected from external intrusion, the health minister even shook hands with Ralph, and it became like, yo, what they happened for here? This guy went to the Rich Hospital to do bullshit, and the health minister is even endorsing him and all that, right? Now the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association does this back and forth. Then one of their secretary, I don't know whether the secretary or the spokesperson actually said the health minister wasn't competent enough because he's a farmer. How could a farmer become a minister? And we had other associations also coming in to state that spokesperson or the secretary should apologize to the minister. So later on in the week, the nurse that was supposedly assaulted, has sued Ralph for damages. And in the videos that were circulated, I never saw anywhere where Ralph was actually assaulting any of them. If there's a video, they should bring it out. And the defamation part, I don't know how defamatory it is for any citizen to demand the best to be done, because there were other videos that came out that really corroborated the fact that at the Rich Hospital, the nurses are very, very nonchalant. They are not ready to serve. There was a guy carrying, his grandmother came to the hospital. They were not ready to even attend to him. Nobody was paying attention to him. And it was an eyesore. So if that is what is happening at Rich Hospital, you can just imagine what is happening at District Hospital, because Rich Hospital is actually the Accra Regional Hospital, right? So if that is what is happening there, you can just imagine what is happening at some Western North Hospital. And I always state and see, you are one emergency away from joining our ancestors. As far as your health is concerned in Ghana, the health system in Ghana is very, very porous, polarized. It is not rigorous enough. It does not serve the needs and aspirations of people. It does not attend to the immediate needs and the emergency needs of people that are referred to those facilities. It is just about the leadership, the people there. The problem is not the facilities, but it is the people in the institution that are not ready to actually put their feet down and make sure that the right things are done. And most hospitals across the country, the nurses are just on TikTok, bro. The nurses are content creators. The nurses are, social media influencers. They will choose that over, being in the hospital. They are just in the hospital because, that is a way of getting paid. Most of them go to these training colleges just for the alawa, not because they have any special love for the profession. If you take 10 nurses, I could say that about 8 or 9 of them do not care about their profession. If you don't uproot it, if you don't deal with the root cause of the problem, you will just be punishing people for punishing sake. If our health system is not robust enough to attend to the needs of people when they need it, bro, then what is the essence of, we fighting for proper measures and order? If the fact that you could go to the hospital and actually die from negligence, from the fact that people are not ready to actually play their role to the letter, then bro, what's the need? Look around the world, go to America and other parts of the world. The reason people are referred to those facilities, it's more about the human factor. The people are ready to serve. The people are ready to make sure that, when you come with a problem, you don't leave with the same problem. They will do their possible best to save you, and unless, of course, they can't save you. But in Ghana, bro, they even want you to die. So some of us, you understand the frustration of, RAF, unless, of course, you've not experienced, what really happens in our hospitals. Let us all push for reforms, bro. Serious reforms. If these reforms do not happen, bro, one emergency, that could be the end of your life, bro. The lives of Sarkodie, Kwame Eugene, Mr. Drew, Amarado, they've all sold their catalog. Some of them have leased them. Even when they post that Sarkodie always want to come across as the big boy, but low-key, selling catalog they buy Air Forces and Supreme jackets. Sarkodie be broke. If you go on Apple Music and you see any artist work and you see Waka Music Limited has been sold or leased. But bro, artists, if you suffer where you don't say things not they go well, where you want to sell your music, tell your fans. Because Captain Planet made this post some time back where he said that a lot of artists in Ghana are actually selling their works. Out of desperation, out of poverty, out of whatever reason, they are selling their works, and they don't own it anymore. But we want our artists to own their own work, so that it will be theirs forever and ever. But if you are selling everything to the highest bidder, then our entertainment industry will actually have a very big downfall.
So Yawada, and we are down ko. Ebeya wufu som ewo park ya so e de jabe wa kwan sada no ayani breeder sada no sabia brau Asanteman ebeya tin dano obia mieni so obia ko babia
Asanteman they block movements and businesses from operating just for a funeral. Me, I thought myself say Galamsey way they happen for the Ashanti region. Why I say Asanteman, they make sure say then go ban that by they get the energy, they ban individuals from movements and businesses from operating just for a funeral. But people say be tradition. We can shut the fuck up and focus on tradition. Tradition is to be protected. So yeah, we are protecting tradition, but I feel like whilst we are protecting tradition does not inure to the development of people, does not improve life, does not really add anything to the lives of people. I don't think it should be celebrated. It should be rather uprooted. What's the essence? Asanteman level, EOCO level, but at the end of the day, Galamsey is eating our lands in order, right? So if you can issue a ban on economic activities, because economic activity actually relies on movements and also businesses. If people are not moving, if people are not buying or selling, there's no economic activity. So if you can actually put a ban on that, then you can equally put a ban on Galamsey. Otum for Mr. Galamsey, and if I be to so I send you more ban movements in businesses and but we are mombani Galamsey so my na Asanteman so fun in term of pa infra because GDP no cry na contribute ne kese taxes are tuani na cry na contribute ne kese what I say something maybe be for Galamsey ho anke be bo apa na e nature you say enye eyi nkwa na e betimi article messages but Galamsey so ehun hia pa. I beg you guys to subscribe, put the notification on, Until then, bongo ideas. And on this show, we choose conviction over convenience. I'm out.